Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things narcissism, and this video is going to be some traits of a narcissistic person's characteristics as such, to describe more their patterns of behaviour. When it comes to the criteria of a narcissistic person, these are people who lack empathy, feel entitled to have everything their own way, are incredibly exploitative, are envious of other people, have arrogant and haughty behaviour, are grandiose, they seek that excessive attention, they are preoccupied with themselves, and they believe themselves to be special. And due to the build-up of the nature of the person, and to be on the disorder, somebody would only need 5 of the criteria. However, you can meet somebody who's not on the disorder that has 3 of the criteria, who is going to be an incredibly toxic person to be around, especially if they lack empathy, are willing to exploit people, and are envious of other people. Those other characteristics are going to tie into that. So when it comes to these types of people, one of the first things you will notice is they rarely to never take responsibility for any of their behaviour. They're always looking for a scapegoat to shift the blame over to, due to the fact usually, not that they feel guilty, is that sense of shame that they have from what they believe other people will think of them. So if they can humiliate somebody else, if they can shame or blame somebody else so that they don't have to take the responsibility, so that the other person is frowned upon, the other person is looked poorly upon, and they can get away with it, they will fail to take responsibility. The only time you'll catch a narcissistic person taking responsibility is if it's going to make them look good, if they're going to get the admiration for taking responsibility. Then they'll trip us up a bit, because on a whole, the majority of them don't take responsibility. However, now and again, one will, to play the moral superior card of how good they are for taking responsibility, which kind of ties into number 2. They either play the victim, so they don't take responsibility, they blame everybody else, it's always somebody else's fault, it's never their own, or they play the hero of how they tried their best, they did their best, but it just wasn't good enough. They just couldn't do right for doing wrong. So they gain that admiration, they gain that attention. They're highly critical of people, and again, this is usually due to their envious nature. Because they are envious of other people, they seek to pull other people down. They'll also be critical of other people because they don't want you admiring other people. And if they've done something that they're failing to take responsibility for because they don't want to face the consequences of their actions, by being critical of the person that they have done something to, by accusing that person of being bitter, of being jealous, of withholding something from them, they get to play the victim and gain the sympathetic attention from those around them, while smearing that other person's name and ruining that other person's reputation. Yet they will be very self-righteous, very virtuous. They would never do such a terrible thing. They couldn't imagine why anybody would do something like that. They would never hurt anybody. They would never cheat on anybody. And then they go right ahead on cheat on people, and then turn around and claim, well, if you hadn't, I wouldn't. If you'd have been there for me more, if you'd have paid me more attention. Which, when they're seeking that excessive attention within their own minds, they actually believe that if you paid them enough attention, they wouldn't have needed to go elsewhere. Yet no matter how much attention you pay them, it's never going to be enough for them. So they're always going to be looking elsewhere. They will talk badly about others, not only so you think poorly about others, but also so you feel like you have to join in, because if you don't join in with them, they're going to accuse you of not taking their side, of not being supportive of them. So you don't want to talk badly about another person. Yeah, if you don't talk badly about another person, you're going to be outcast and they're going to abandon you. So you're in that no-win situation. Narcissistic people, not only are they highly critical of other people, they have to talk badly of others to feel more important about themselves. Yet there's that little twist. Sometimes a narcissist will talk positively of another person if they know that that's an insecurity within you. If they know that they can strip you of your confidence in some way by talking positively about what somebody else is doing. Or if someone has achieved something that the narcissist knew you wanted to do and programmed into you that you weren't capable, they might go on and on and on about how that person has achieved it, just to rub salt into the wounds. So they will talk positively of a person if they know that it's going to offend you. And then when you get that resentment and anger and react at them, they're going to turn around and blame you and play the victim, and then they're going to criticize your reactions to their actions, and then they're going to go around and smear your name and talk badly about you to all those around you. Narcissistic people will lie, they'll deny, they'll deflect, and they'll project so that they can shift the blame. So the tricky thing about this is they can get a fact and then they can falsify the information to lie about something so that they can evade exposure. So they'll lie about something, they'll deny all knowledge, they'll deflect it onto somebody else. You made me do it, they made me do it. If it wasn't for them, they wouldn't leave me alone. It wasn't my fault. And they project any and all of their intentions over to you. You're the one that's been awkward, you're the one that's been stubborn, you're the one that's causing the arguments, because they fail to take responsibility for their behaviour. Which, all of the above, they will claim that you are the one that's doing all of that to them, so that you question yourself. You wonder whether you're the one that isn't taking responsibility, even though you find yourself apologising often for things that you haven't done. You question whether you're playing the victim because you are the victim. Yet you don't speak out because then it looks like you're playing the victim. You don't want to act self-righteous because you know you've made mistakes within that relationship. So you're willing to take your share of the blame. Yet that share of the blame keeps you trapped in the dynamics of that relationship because their behaviour is on them, not you. You don't want to talk out about them because then you're talking badly about them, and you might have been drawn into the triangulation where you spoke poorly on somebody else because the narcissist has come to you and told you that that person spoke poorly of you. So you defended yourself, and the narcissist went running back to that other person and claimed what you said in your defence was the first thing you said, and they're dividing and conquering, they're splitting people up. So you feel bad for talking badly of another person. So when they accuse you of doing these things, because you do take responsibility, you end up questioning and doubting yourself and not the environment that you are in and the things that that narcissistic person is doing to you. There's lots of traits and patterns of behaviour of narcissistic people. Any you notice, please add into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.